Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm back in the shop and I think I have a plan. If you're just joining me, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Please subscribe if you can. It helps me immensely. I can't even begin to describe it. It is free and it's only the click of a mouse and you can help me out a ton. I'm trying to get enough subscribers to get some ad revenue from Google and maybe pay for this race car off of that. Besides, they're $1 billion corporation. They could afford it. But anyway, today I'm back in the shop. I'm looking the car over. I'm going to do a few things to maybe make it a little bit better, but I also have a plan. That plan is that maybe I'll put this thing together so that next week I can take it down to a different track that I don't race at, and maybe I can practice this thing and test a few setup theories and see if I could come up with some ideas to make it better before I go out on track about a month from now at my normal racetrack. So today we're going to be in the shop. We're going to be working on trying to make it a little bit better. Maybe I can get some stuff done, like I have to bleed the brakes. I want to make the shifter different. Maybe we don't bother with that. I'm not sure at this point. Maybe I'll hash that out later. No idea, but I do have to change the seat belts. I think they're going to be out of date pretty soon. And just general stuff to get ready to go practice. So I'm going to get to work and show you what I got. I'm not sure if I showed this on the channel or not, but I do have this Hurst shifter that I got from my brother. He had a whole bucket full of them that my dad used to collect, basically. If he went to the swap meets, he would find whoever had these and buy them outright for pennies on the dollar, because these things, when they're brand new, cost a hell of a lot of money. This thing is kind of grody. She's pretty roached. Not used up, obviously, but I'm going to soak this thing in a bath of WD-40 from the can that's down there and see if I can't clean this thing up and get it working better, get this big piece of pig iron off the back of it. And if you're using one of these, to get it aligned, you got to have all these dogs in the right spot and all have to go down through a pin through here. If you get a long enough 1/4-20, you can cut the threads off of it and use it as a pin to align these. So that's pretty cool. And you can use aftermarket shifter linkages and rods with the Heim joints on there. So that's cool. Plus, if I go to change the transmission and I end up running like one of my 4-speeds or something off of the shelf just because I need something, I don't have to change it. I can just throw an extra linkage on it. So we might come up with a solution for this. I might have to build a bracket for it. That remains to be seen. I think the front end is pretty well sorted for now. I just have to set the ride heights and figure out what sway bar I want to try. But when I go to practice, hopefully I'll have time to bring an extra one with me and swap it out. You never know. They have 3 hours worth of practice, and hopefully I'll get time enough to at least get a handle on it. Maybe see if it's a driver problem or if it's a car problem or a part problem. You never know. So I'm gonna go dilly-dally with that. I'm gonna try a few things. Again, it's the best chance I'm gonna have to try to get this thing ironed out before we actually hit the track again. I don't wanna be testing this thing out under pure race conditions, because then I'm trying to get a setup under it while at the same time trying to be competitive, and it's just a real stressful hassle that I don't want to have to deal with while I'm at the track, and that sucks, you know. So we're gonna stick to basics for right now. We're gonna pull wheels off, we're gonna bleed brakes, then I'm gonna probably get the thing at least on the ground far enough that I can change belts. Maybe we'll monkey with this thing, who knows. But I got 1 week to do it. Well, actually I got a week and 2 days, so maybe we can hash this out. But at this time I gotta do a few parts changeovers and get to it. So it's starting to come clean. It was a complete, just disgusting mess when you first looked at it. Now you can actually see bare metal and shiny spots, kind of like these. I still got to blow it apart a little bit more. I think I got to pull the insides out of this section, but I want to photograph it to make sure that I put it back together properly because I've never had one of these apart before. But it's still kind of like, you know when something's been underneath a classic car or any car for a long period of time, especially an older car like what this Hearst Competition Plus would have been underneath, it's completely caked in grease. And when you have something that's kind of subject to the elements, there's also going to be a lot of grit in there as well. So basically when you move the mechanism, you can hear grit just kind of in there, and it's just disgusting. So I'm going to let this soak. I sprayed it with one of my multiple cans of WD-40, plus I have the gallon of WD-40. WD-40 is a good cleaning agent, especially when, you know, it's inexpensive and it works on literally everything and it won't allow rust to come in and knock out whatever you're trying to do. Is there better cleaning agents out there for taking grease and stuff off? I'm sure there is, but I'm not looking to allow it to rust as well. So I have a whole gallon. I found it for free. I'm using it. So I'm going to let this soak for a little while. I'll come back to it later, probably off camera. Who the heck knows? But right now I got to get back underneath the rear and I got to start bleeding brakes again. Now, as this is a essentially fresh brake line system, I've got to crawl under here after building pressure and bleeding the brakes to inspect the whole thing and make sure there are no wet spots, no leaks, no drips, no sort of issues whatsoever. Now, I did brake clean a bunch of this stuff. Hopefully, it just comes clean here. Well, y'all ain't gonna believe this. There's nothing. Not a single weep or soaked spot or anything. That is fantastic. Good. Because I put a bunch of pressure on that thing when I hit the brake pedal to make sure that it wasn't going to leak on me. And I got nothing. So that's good. Job done. Hopefully it stays that way. It's the next day. I'm back in the shop. I'm just taking a look because I finally was able to blow this thing apart completely yesterday and do a little bit of cleaning. I'm seeing a few little things here, but looks pretty good. I had this soaking overnight. I got to pull this whole assembly apart. Looks like somebody cut this shifter down and booger welded it back together. I mean, it looks like it'll hold up, but this is still disgusting. So I got to clean this thing up and hopefully I can at least, yeah, we're going to need these, that's for sure. At least grease it up, put it back together, and start measuring for a mount inside the car. Well, I got her completely blown apart, cleaned up. As you saw, I took this thing and hosed brake clean through it and then compressed air. And it came really clean. I wasn't worried so much about like grime or old grease as I was dirt, because the dirt impregnates in the old grease and that just chunks it and just wears it prematurely. I didn't want any of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and start reassembling, but I'm going to put a little bit of smear of grease on everything. I think I'll just use like a low temp grease, like this white grease, and put it back together. And hopefully it'll be nice and smooth, and we can start from that platform right there. Bear with me because I've never taken one of these things apart or even tried to clean one before, but I did take good pictures, so that's got to count for something. All right, lubed her up with a little bit of grease, and let's see. Well, there's something. There's the other thing. So there's your, if this is a 4-speed, this is your first, second. Look how easily that thing moves over too. Look at that. There's your first, second, ouch, fourth. Ouch is third, by the way. Oh, the pin's coming out because there ain't no dang bolt in there. That's supposed to be held in by a bolt, which I haven't put in yet because I haven't built the bracket for it. Now, let's see if I can click her all the way over. You gotta get her, then you gotta get it in the middle. There it is. Oh yeah, real nice. That's your 4-speed reverse, but in a 3-speed like I got, see that? First, second, bang, reverse, or third. Obviously, the shifter end is really boogered, so I might just hack it off and weld a nut to it and then put a ball on it and just say that's good enough. I'm down here under the car with my tape measure, and I'm trying to measure a mount bracket for the shifter, and I realized that this isn't probably going to work. I'm looking around and I'm seeing my floor does not have a tranny hump in it for extra clearance. And there is well, not a lot of clearance between here and here. Never mind all the grease here. That just comes from the U-joint because I greased the crap out of it. So I think I might have to forego that and just hang on to that shifter in case I need it for something else. But at least I got a nice rebuilt shifter. Well, I suppose I can just hang on to that shifter for maybe someday I'll get a new car. Who knows? But I got a nice shifter now, so that's cool. Sucks I can't use that for content on the channel, but at least you guys got to watch me rebuild something that I've never done before. So I guess now we're going to have to move on to the next thing. So I'm going through the list and trying to figure out what I need to do next. And I know I have about a week and a day left right now before I can go to practice. And they're only doing it monthly, so I really kind of have to go this time if I'm going to have any shot at shaking down and doing a little bit of research before we get back on track in June. So what I need to do is, I think I already bled the brakes. I'll get in and pump the pedal once, see if that's good enough, or if I need to keep going. I might want to pull the front hubs, well, at least the dust covers off just to make sure the grease looks good. If I still see color in it, that's probably fine. I know the rear hubs are fine. I put oil in the rear, everything's sealed up. I got no leaks or nothing. I'll probably put the tires on and size those for whatever I'm going to use and put her on the ground and start setting ride heights. And I might want to do that on scales, not sure. But I do also want to start working geometry. And once I get that, I might have to scale the car first and then set my geometry, because I want to do bump steer with my fancy new gauge that's behind me over there. And just keep moving forward. I mean, I'm at the point where I'm just kind of forgetting stuff, and I got to kind of look over the car and nut and bolt it and make sure everything's set. So I also want to check pinion angle, because I don't know if that's going to be good or not. That might be hurting some of my drive off if, you know, the pinion's too far up and it's climbing the ring gear. Maybe that'll be something, but it's not going to cure all the problems, obviously. I think we're just trying to hone it back into where we're supposed to be with conventional setup. So I guess the list just grew, so let's get back onto it. As you can see, it's dark outside. I got busy doing some other stuff and cleaning and finding other problems that I didn't put to camera because, to be fair, I don't think that I should at this point, because as a short track racer, I am neurotic and I hide a lot of things. So I had to break the welder out to fix something, but now that that's done, I'm pretty much ready to put the car on the ground and at least get some ride heights done. I'm still cleaning up stuff. And get it on scales to get a kind of a rudimentary scale set put into it and set everything up. And then once I get all that done, I'm gonna have to put it up on jack stands yet again and go through my geometry after I set my ride heights and caster camber toe and stuff. So that's gonna have to wait for another day though, so I'll see you that time. So it's been a few days. I haven't been able to really get out here, and that kind of stinks because I really want to bring you guys more content, but lately I just haven't been able to because, you know, time, money, that's about it. It's not ambition, it's definitely those two things. So that's why I ask you guys to subscribe when you can, because then that number gets bigger, and I hopefully someday can actually get some ad revenue built up. But anyway, I'm just kind of piddling around right now because I was doing another project and I really tore up the shop because there's a bunch of crap all through here, and I just can't even work in it right now, and my door keeps opening and closing on its own, thinking that there's ghosts in here, so that's great. But my goal for today is to get the car back on the ground. I might run scales out to it just to get a preliminary setup. That way I know what my ride heights are and if the scales are going to be close. That way if I get the time before Thursday, which I really hope I do, because that's 6 days away now, I can at least get the geometry done. So goal number one right now is clean. Goal number two is going to be put it on scale pads that I've just recently leveled. If you saw my previous video that I probably will forget to link. I had my air conditioning on, but now the door is open and the fan's on because of this. I was working on like arm angles in the back and ride heights and all sorts of geometry stuff and just seeing what I got and taking notes, but I kept smelling gas. And you'll notice there's a fuel filter taken apart over here, and I got a bolt and I'm putting a new copper washer on it. Well, in this area here, where my fuel filter is, remember I had that fitting loose in the last video, tighten that up, but it was still like soaked in fuel. I'm like, what's going on here? So I went to loosen the nut on top of the fuel filter to drop the canister off, and fuel just came spraying out of it. I'm like, what's going on? There's no pressure, you know what I mean? I walked over here and I took my little rubber cap off because you think, you know, that this thing builds pressure. The rubber cap's gonna release it. Well, I thought so too. So I came back over and loosened it, sprays fuel all over the place again. Huh, okay. I wonder if that little cap was enough for the rollover valve to seal up as, you know, it got warm out because it's like 85 degrees today. Seal the rollover vent and pressurize the fuel cell, and thereby pressurize all the fuel lines and pressurize the fuel filter. So I got that. I pulled the cap off, so it totally knocked the pressure out of it, and that helped. So now I'm going to replace this washer because I don't know where it went because I dropped it on the ground. And, oh, I found it. It's down there. But it looks kind of old, so I had to stop setting the car up to do this sort of stuff. And, yeah, it's just kind of snowballing. But hopefully we'll be able to get her going again in a few minutes. But at least I got Stafford on, so I'm able to watch that. It's the return of the ACT. This is a race I always wanted to run, but I have one of these. So... I got the ride heights where I want them. I got my arm angles in the back where I want them. Now I got to plug the scales in, get the car scaled up, basically be ready. I mean, I'm probably just going to run these tires because I'm only going to be running a handful of laps in practice at Waterford. I think I have enough. And I also have a stack about this big in the trailer, thanks to Bo Norman and his guys. But yeah, I think... I'm just probably going to turn bolts on the car after I shut this off and get her scaled up. You don't really need to see that. What are you going to do, sit and watch time lapse for another 30 seconds with cheesy music? But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to end this video here because I got to get it out to you guys. You know, I hate making you all wait. I try to do at least a video a week, but times are tough when you don't have enough money to race, but that might be changing sometime in the near future. We're not sure yet, but I'll keep you posted, obviously. But again, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. I got a lot of racing to watch at Stafford on TV, and I think the truck race is tonight, so I got to take some notes and do all that stuff. So again, we're going to scale it, get it ready for practice next week. I'm going to try to make it, and you'll see a video of that too if I do. So thank you all again. Tell your friends. I appreciate it.